Hi everyone, it's Latin Roses. Today I want to tell you that I usually share with my children and everyone who will listen. If you can see it in your mind, you can hold it in your hands. And on today I want to share with you how I manifested my dream car, the Audi Q3. What's kind of interesting is until my mid-40s, I never had a dream car. Like, I would hear people talk about their dream car was like a Ferrari, a Mercedes, BMW, etc., etc. I never had a dream car. It just, if I had a newer car that I knew was reliable and didn't look bad, didn't look terrible, and it could take me from point A to point B, that was a good car. I didn't care. I never looked at a car and thought, oh, that car is very attractive, or that's a beautiful car. Never had that happen to me. But one day I was watching a cooking show on the Food Channel with the chef Giada De Laurentiis, and she prepared a fabulous meal, and she wanted to deliver this meal to her friends in a park. So the next scene shows her driving up to a park in this convertible, the top down, and it had 4 rings, a symbol of 4 rings on the back. And I was in my mid to late 40s, and I really never honestly noticed a car in my life that had 4 rings on it. And I was very fascinated with that. And so I asked my son what kind of vehicle that was. He said it was an Audi. And I said, I've never seen that. He goes, they're everywhere. I said, I've never seen that in my whole life. So anyway, I thought it was an interesting car, didn't think much about it. And I had just purchased a brand new car, a Dodge Journey, the SUV style of a car, and it fits my needs for hauling my kids and a lot of things I need to haul around. And I did think to myself after I watched that television show, gosh, I wish I would have known about that type of car earlier so that I could maybe have looked for an Audi. But I forgot about it, and I also had thought, because remember, when you're trying to use the law of attraction, sometimes it's difficult for us, and I mean myself as well, because you look at the circumstances around you, the financial picture, what's happening, and it's hard to imagine that what you want can come into your life based on what you see around you. And I'm no different, and I still struggle with this. So I was thinking, well, I just got a new car, so there's no way I could even think about getting an Audi, another car, until I paid down this one in 2 to 4 years. So I didn't pay attention to it. Around the second year after that, my best friend, my BFF, best friend forever, Sylvia, she got an Audi, a sedan version. And I was like, that could be a sign, that I should have one. And suddenly after that, I started seeing Audis on the road more often. Like, I went from not noticing them, ever seeing them, to like seeing them pretty frequently. So as we start getting closer to the 4th year of me owning the Dodge Journey, my car starts going through, having some recalls that I had to take care of, as well as actually having some repairs that needed to be done. So I'm thinking, okay, these are all signs, not just coincidence, it's synchronicity, letting me know that it's time for me to start thinking about trading this car in for another vehicle. Well, 6 months earlier this year, I started seeing Audis everywhere. I mean, I was surrounded by Audis. I went to the grocery store, I'd come back out, they're parked in front of me, they're parked on the side of me. I'm seeing them everywhere on the freeway and on the streets, everywhere I'm driving. I'm seeing Audis every day, all day long. And I keep telling my kids, that's a sign. That's a sign I belong in one of those. And then one day I saw the most beautiful car I ever did see. And it was the Audi Q5. It's the SUV version. And I just stopped in the traffic because I had to look at this car. I've never seen a car that was so beautiful in my life. I was really taken with this car, and I actually felt like this car was calling me to be with it. Now, I've heard other people say that when you are in vibration with something that you want, for example, a house, or car, that car or that house wants you too. And I thought it was kind of odd or interesting when I first heard that, but I could really relate because I actually felt like Audi cars wanted me to have one. I just felt like that car in particular, that style, the Audi Q5, was calling me in, like it wanted me to have it. So as I was getting ready to trade my car in, I went to get it car washed and detailed. There was Audi there at the car wash, right parked in front of me where the people sit, waiting for their cars. They also washed them right there in front of you, and there was an Audi right in front of me. It was color gold. It was gorgeous, and the door was open. All the doors were open, but I could see into it, and I was like, wow, this car is so beautiful. I told my son, I felt like that Audi was just asking me to come in and roll around in it and just be in that car. And he thought it was a little silly, but I just felt like a strong pull and connection towards this car. I know that might sound ridiculous, but it's true. And like I said before, I never ever really was into any kind of cars, but this car I had a strong drawing to. It's not a joke, it's true. So I was starting to look and do my research on the Audi Q5, and let's just say the price is outrageously expensive because it is a luxury car. And I was thinking for a few minutes, I don't know if I can really swing this without it being detrimental to my family. I still want to be able to feed my family, and I don't know if I'm heading in the right direction trying to get into this car. But then I thought, well, maybe I could get into something slightly used that would probably be more doable. And again, I'm thinking about looking at the outside circumstances around me. So I decided coming up to Memorial Day weekend that I wanted to go ahead and just try to see what I could do if I could get into one. And my son warned me that, you know, you just have your heart set on this car. You have never test drove it. You don't even know if you can ride in that kind of a car, if you would be happy once you're inside. You should look at other cars, comparable cars, and see, in case that car doesn't work out, that car brand, you could find something else. So I did my research, and he sent me a lot of videos and information on other cars that he thought I might like. And you know, every time I looked at these other cars, my heart just kind of sank. I just didn't feel any pull to it, and I felt like I really wouldn't be happy in any other car but an Audi. And I know that sounds crazy to some of you, but it's true, and I never felt like that before about any kind of a car. As long as it worked, took me where I needed to go, I didn't care. But this time around, I knew I'm destined to have an Audi. I've been seeing Audis for several months, several years, and it's just, I knew I belonged to that car. So I went, there was no Audi dealers in my city, and I was willing to drive and do whatever it took to actually test drive, make contact with my Audi, and make it happen. So I drove outside the city and it wasn't far out, to test drive an Audi. And before I got there, I actually went on that Audi dealership's website and tried to find out what my trade-in value was. Actually, I had checked it out already with Kelley Blue Book. I checked out the current car interest rate. I knew what I wanted, but I checked on that Audi dealership's website because I knew if I put my information in, they would try to contact me, and they did. So I went into the dealership, parked there, and I saw something very unusual from what I've ever seen. When I stepped onto the car dealership, there was no salespeople out there. Usually you can't step into a dealership without being surrounded, by salespeople looking for potential customers, but there was nobody. There was a bunch of customers out there kind of wandering around the lot and not being helped, which I thought was very strange. And I walked around the lot and I started looking at all the new Audi Q5s and all the other Audis, and I didn't see any used ones, and I was just taken back by the sticker shock of how expensive these cars were. They were like in the 80,000 range, the 60, the 50, and the high 40s. And I was like, I was on my way to walk off this lot thinking, there's no way I'm getting into this car. And then I got a text message from the inside the Audi dealership where I was saying they'd love to see my trade-in and see if we could make a deal. And I thought to myself, well, what the heck? I come this far and I really feel like I belong in an Audi. Let's see what they have. So I talked to the sales guy, told him what I pay currently for my current car, and I want to keep it close to that. I don't want it to go too much higher. And somebody had warned me who knows somebody who works at an Audi dealership that I'm gonna have to go up $200 to $300 more on my car payment. And I was like, no, I don't want to. You know, I know my insurance is gonna go up and I'm gonna have to start using premium gas. I do not want my car payment to go up $200 to $300 more. I don't want it to even go up too much more at all than what I already have. And this might sound unrealistic, but that's what I wanted. I knew what I wanted. So the guy at the dealership said, after I told him what I want and what I didn't want, he said, "Why have you ever thought about getting into an Audi Q3? I was like, I don't know. I've seen one and I really didn't like it. And he said, "Are you sure you really took a good look at it? Because it's just really in reality a smaller Q5. He said, "I have one on the lot, slightly used. I'd like you to take a look at it. It looks like it's in your price range and we could make it work." So he brought it out and I was pleasantly surprised. It was adorable. We test drove it. I liked it. It had a lot of features that I liked, but it wasn't feeling right. It had way more miles than my current car, the Dodge Journey. And it didn't have a backup camera like my Dodge Journey. It didn't have the tinted windows. It was lacking a lot of features that my Dodge had. So I kind of felt like I was going to be paying for more and getting less. So it wasn't feeling right. It wasn't working for me. So I had to leave. I walked out. But after I test drove that Audi Q3, something lit up in me, like some kind of burning fire. Desire to own one was stronger than ever, and I was determined. I had a taste of the Audi. I had the 4 rings right in front of me. There was no way I was giving up on my Audi dream. And I always told my children that each of those rings stand for each one of us, and the Audis is meant for me. It's so special. So I started looking online and at these different dealerships out of town. I was all of a sudden it just seems like to me like out of nowhere all these different Audi Q3s were popping up in my price range. And so I was wheeling and dealing with these dealers via text message and through emails. I didn't want to go down to any dealerships because they were quite a distance. I didn't want to travel down there if we couldn't make a good deal. So finally, later on that evening, I actually saw an Audi Q3 that was turned into one of our local dealers in my city. And I was like, wow, it had hardly any miles. It was 16,500, one owner, no accidents. I looked at it and I thought, this is my Audi. And so I contacted the dealer. And they kept saying they want me to come in, they want to see my trade, they really wanted me there. They were more pursuing me than the other dealers. And I decided, you know what the heck, it's in my town. Literally 2 minutes away. I'm gonna go check it out. And I was able to get everything I wanted. I got the price that I wanted to pay for it, which was hardly nothing over what I pay now. I mean, really? It was no $200 to $300 over what I'm paying now. I got the below going auto finance rate because I had great credit and great credit, and it just worked out. And in fact, the guy said, you know, it's Memorial Day weekend. I love your name. It's my grandmother's name, and you have excellent credit. We don't see that every day. I'll give you what you want. He even gave me what I wanted for my trade-in. First, he tried to lowball me. And I started grabbing everything that I had on my desk, putting it back in my purse, and I was like, no, I'm good. I'm still good with my car, and I could probably get a brand new car in a different model that's not luxury model. So I just wanted to see if I could get this Audi. And he goes, okay, don't leave. I'm going to give you whatever you want. And he pretty much gave me everything that I want. So I feel like all the green lights went on and all the doors opened. And I found it very interesting when I signed my paperwork. The finance guy also said, you have really great credit, and this is your first luxury car, and you really deserve it. You really deserve it. Congratulations. And I felt when he said that, I know this is going to sound strange, but I felt like it really wasn't him saying it. I felt like it was like God or the universe using him to say, you deserve this car. And in my mind, I totally agreed. I did deserve this car. I worked hard to keep my credit good and paid my bills on time and struggled. You know, things haven't always been easy, and being a single parent, and I managed to do it, keep the roof over our head. And, you know, I totally agreed with him. I deserved it. So what I'm trying to share with you in this story is that sometimes the law of attraction doesn't happen overnight. It literally took about 4 years for me, but it did happen. And I had to always think about what I wanted. I wanted an Audi. And it maybe wasn't the Q5, but it was the Q3. I still think it's adorable. I love it so much. And sometimes it doesn't come in the form exactly the way you want, but I think it comes into the form that is the best form for you. And you need to have patience with this. You have to know, again, it's not going to happen overnight. I mean, it can, but some manifestations won't. And it really is about what we think in our minds. So I probably didn't have to wait the 4 years for this to happen, but in my mind, I thought I had to do it. So a lot of the times we kind of close off the vibration of how quickly things can come to us because of what we tell ourselves. We look around at the circumstances around us and we think we can't do it immediately. This never happened because I'm not working, or I have bad credit, or this situation's happening, so I can't do it, I can't have it, it's just not gonna happen. And if you think it's not gonna happen, you're right, it's not gonna happen. You have to be on the same vibration of what you want and know that it's coming, and it will. And remember, the car that you want, the house that you want, the perfect mate that you want, wants you too, and is looking for you. You just have to have the faith. And before we go, on our way out, the clip I'm going to show you is a clip that I did exactly almost 1 year to the date. I was telling you my story time video about how I manifested my house, the condo I'm in now. And towards the end, I was talking about if you want something, and I said, for example, a car, I started talking about the Audi that I wanted. And I was just kind of blown away today thinking about a year ago today. I was thinking about it and knowing I was going to have it, but I had no idea when, and I had no idea a year later, almost a year to the date, I have my Audi. So if I can do it, you can do it. This force is available to everyone. So I'd love to hear from you. If you have your own manifestation stories, please share them down below in the comments. If you like this video, hit like. If you want to stay in touch, subscribe. And as always, I wish you love, peace, and joy. If you're trying to manifest a home, a car, you have to think about it, dream about it, daydream about it, but you also have to take some kind of action. So like you saw, like you heard, I literally travel to my condo daily. You have to test drive a new car. That's a Audi. If you want an Audi, you have to go to test drive one. Feel like you already have one. Go buy some products for your new Audi that you're gonna get if you want a new Audi or whatever it is that you want. You have to actually take steps to make that happen.
And we all should be taking advantage of the creative force that's available to everyone, which is the law of attraction. So what you think about becomes your reality. And if you believe it and you receive it, you can achieve it, it will happen for you. So if you have any questions,